Hi, and welcome to lesson number one, job, where we will be discussing the framework called Jobs to be Done. So, first question to you: what does a drill actually do? The thing we will be discussing in the Jobs to be Done framework is how you should shift your mindset when developing ideas and products and services towards what a product or a service actually do, instead of what the problem itself, but what job does it perform for the customer, for the user. And in this specific case, the drill, the job the drill do is creating a hole in the wall, or if you're using it as a screwdriver, it screws a screw into the wall. So there are a lot of variables and different products and services me as a user can choose from in order to get either a hole in the wall or get a screw into the wall. But I chose the drill. And then you have to think about, why should someone choose the drill over something else? And then it comes to the user-friendly aspect. Is it more user-friendly than others? Is it more reliable? And how fast is it? Does it perform the job you want to get done faster or slower? All of these variables is things you have to think about when creating your product, developing your product, and identifying what specific job you want your product or service to perform for the user. A lot of people think about products and ideas and services instead of jobs. And most businesses fail because they don't have a market fit. And the issue when approaching idea development, when you want to develop a perfect idea or you want to fix or create a service that you think people will want, you don't think about the job perspective. You don't think about it from the perspective where the user think, okay, I need to get this done. What products or what services do I have available? So it is important for everyone that works with idea development to think about the job. So this is the change in mindset, and this change in mindset makes all the change in the world. And by changing your mindset from ideas into jobs, you will have the opportunity to, from the start, basically from the get-go, create a product or a service that has a market fit. And throughout this module, idea development module, we will be going through various approaches to creating an idea or a product or a service. And the Jobs to be Done framework is just one of many, and it is meant to give you a hint and an approach to changing your mindset, as I mentioned, from ideas to jobs. As you start identifying different jobs that in the market that needs to be solved or are already being solved, it is more easily done in, or it is more easy to create and come up with ideas or products and services that can solve those specific jobs. So bear in mind that instead of thinking about solutions, ideas, products, and services, think about jobs as the start, as the ground and the framework that you develop your entire business out from. So let me ask you the question: what does a milkshake do? What job does it do? I'll give you a couple of seconds to think about that. Like, what or why do you go to McDonald's to buy a milkshake? Or any other places? Why do you go to anywhere buying a milkshake or a smoothie? There was done an experiment at Harvard University with a guy called Clayton Christensen. At least he told about an experiment where they talked with a huge franchise that sold milkshakes. And this specific franchise wanted to increase their sales, but they didn't know how to. So they did a survey with a lot of different customers, and the customer said, "Oh, we want different flavors, we want different sizes, colors, formats, and all of that." So this franchise changed to try to fit the customer's expectations and what they requested. So they made several new flavors and tastes. They changed the package to different sizes and different designs. And what was the result? Almost none. They didn't receive any, or they didn't get any increase in sales. So then they thought to themselves, how should we increase the sale? So when they started out, they thought about the idea or the product. They didn't think about the job. And the job, what is important to know is that the job that you as a business have for your product may vary from what the customer or the user sees as the job for the product. And this was the case for the milkshake as well. So they went to approach the entire problem in a different way. So they sat down in one of the locations for this franchise and they watched as the day passed on to see what specific customer, what type of customer bought the milkshake. And as it showed out, most milkshakes were sold between 7 a.m. and 9 a.m. And it was guys and girls in going to work, basically. So this was something that's noticed and saw over several days. And I think it was over a week that they did this experiment. So they approached these ladies and men that were wearing dresses and were going to work and asked them, "Excuse me, why do you buy a milkshake? What does it do for you this morning? Or what will it do for you?" And what the experiment showed is that the milkshake made the route or the way from their home to work less boring. So you originally thought on the previous slide that, most likely at least, that the milkshake did the job or solved the job of thirst or hunger. But as the experiment showed, that's not the job that the user or the consumer saw in the product. It made the travel from their home or the drive from their home to work less boring. And this drive was typically between 15 and 20 minutes. And what they would do is sit in their car, they have the milkshake in the right or left hand, and they would take a sip once in a while. And the milkshake would last for the entire 20-minute drive. So it would make the entire drive from their home to work less boring. If they were stuck in a traffic jam, they would have their milkshake, could sip from it, and they would have something to do instead of just having two hands on the wheel and just existing while they drove. So as you can see, the experiment showed that the job the consumer or the customer saw in the product was different from what the franchise or the business saw in their own product. And this is something you have to bear in mind when you develop your own product. And by starting off in the idea development phase with actually looking into the job that the product would do, you will have a chance of reaching out or appealing to more customers. So, how should you use the Jobs to be Done framework? It can be used in various ways, but most of all, it should be used to evaluate needs. People have a lot of needs. We have a need to eat, sleep, drink, feel joy, feel connected, feel love, feel appreciated. And there are a lot of different things that we need as solving problems in our everyday life. So, evaluating needs based on the Job to be Done framework, you'll be able to develop more appealing and better products and services. You will also be able to identify pains. And by pains, I mean there are things every day that makes us kind of like angry inside. Why does it have to be like this? Why does it have to be like this? I want it another way, or why can't this product be better? And by identifying and finding these pains with the Job to be Done framework, you will also be able to solve a problem for people that want to have the problem solved. You can also use the Jobs to be Done framework to evaluate jobs so that you can create a product from the get-go that has a market fit. And most of all, and most likely the most important aspect by using the Job to be Done framework is that you will be able to create better solutions because you know exactly what job people want to get solved, and you or out from that job or the problem you can create a product or a service that is customized to that specific job. And here I want to give you a quick cheat sheet with different questions that you can ask yourself when you are in the idea development phase, so that you can, or these questions are meant as a guide towards getting into the mindset of thinking about jobs and how you can create something out from the Jobs to be Done perspective or method. So, first question: what specific job does the product do? And when it comes to this one, be as specific as possible. The drill could do various things, but think about what you as a customer, as a user, want to get done. The next one is, how exactly does this product or service solve this specific job? Does it solve it by actually having a mechanical drill, creating a hole in the wall? Or do you have to do it manually? And with this one, be as specific as possible. Being as specific as possible will only make it easier down the road. The next one is, are there any flaws in the way it solves the jobs today? Are there anything that the user, the consumer, or the customer thinks about that could be done better with a specific product or service? And another question is, can the job be done in another type of way? So, before the mechanical screwdrivers and the drills came to market, you have to do it manually. And then people only knew about the manual way by using your hand or using different other tools to make a hole in the wall. But as technology got more and more advanced and we got mechanical tools, our view widened. So try to widen your view on how a job can be solved when it comes to the technical part. It is easy to get your view narrowed due to current technology and so on, but look at Elon Musk. He's looking ahead, and he's trying to, at least it seems like, he's not trying to let the current state of technology narrow his view on how things can get solved. So try to widen your view to see and think outside the box on how things can get solved. And most likely, by being creative and thinking outside the box, you'll be able to come up with a far better solution. And if so, if there is any way you can do or perform the job differently, elaborate. Write down as much information you can to both make it easier to remember and also make it or start a thinking process, because when you actually write things down, your brain works double. You think about it, but you also see it, and once you write it, your brain tries to evaluate and analyze and calculate all of these things. So by writing it down, you'll get more out of it. So that's it for this lesson. And to sum it up, the Jobs to be done framework is a mindset shift, and it is a tool that is used to evaluate what specific job a product or solution or service actually perform for the user, instead of thinking about how the product should work, how the solution should work. And by identifying the job, it will be a lot easier to continue developing your product or service, but also create a product or service that has a market fit off the get-go. So I hope you learned something in this, and if you scroll down, you will see a next lesson button, and it will continue to the next lesson, which is market research. Now, in the market research lesson, we will be discussing how you can analyze your market to see what size does it have, what potential, and all of that. So scroll down, click the next lesson button, and I'll see you in the next video.